Hello, guys. Welcome to Unacademy. So, this is the daily analysis of the Hindu in less than 10 minutes. Today is 4th of January 2017, and this video lesson is presented to you by me, Dipanshu Singh. So, in case if you wish to read more about me, you can go through the slide. And in case if you want to follow me, you can click this link, or otherwise, you can copy paste this link in your browser and follow me to get updates on my courses and on my videos, both as a notification as well as in your email. But I would request you guys that if you find these courses have been beneficial for you or are helping you in your preparations, then please do rate the course, give us 5 stars if you think so, and review and recommend each and every video. So the first page is regarding the national page news. So there was an earthquake reported in Tripura, which is a part of Purvanchal Hills, and actually it's an extension of Himalayas which extends up to Andaman, Nicobar Islands and Indonesia. So the important thing about earthquakes that we want to know and we can revise our concepts is that about the epicenter and the hypocenter, that is the focus. So as you can see in this diagram, this is the fault line where the earthquake passes through, and hypocenter focus is the point of origin, and epicenter is the point directly above the focus on the surface of the earth. So this is about epicenter and focus. Apart from that, you also need to be aware about different types of waves: the primary waves, the secondary waves, the Love's waves, and the surface waves. So as you can see from the figure over here, and apart from that, you can also go through NCRT concepts about the shadow area zones where P and S waves are not detected. So no direct detection of P waves happens between 103 and 140 degrees of our Earth, and similarly P waves are directly received over here. So what this tells about the structure of our Earth, inside the Earth, about the different components of it, and the state in which the different sections of the earth are, like the core, mantle, and the crust. So crust is obviously solid part, and then there's the asthenosphere, and then we have a semi-solid part on the upper core, and then obviously the solid part of the core. So these waves, actually detection of these waves, actually help the scientist in getting information and trying to understand the structure of the earth. And the National Center for Seismology has actually been set up by bringing together all the seismology related activities. So this gives out information about the earthquake. So these are the bodies under MOES. So you can go through this and try and read a few lines about these organizations. This is one of the most important, that is the Indian National Center for Ocean Information Services, and apart from that, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology and the National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting are some of the important organizations under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. The next page of news is about the Delhi High Court's order about the Jhuggis and Jhopdis, which said they are actually normally born out of need, and the unauthorized colonies are actually born out of greed, and it rejected the petition of regularization of colonies. It noted that these colonies have actually been created by violation of law, but most of the Jhuggi Jhopdis are formed due to the migration of unsustainable workers, and due to obviously various push and pull factors. And it also noted that these Jhuggi Jhopdis cause a lot of environmental degradation, and in fact, a lot of these Jhuggi Jhopdis have very poor and living conditions. They which is a breeding ground for diseases. So inevitably, the government has to spend a lot on their health services, and these unregularized colonies actually cause environmental degradation and obviously travel bottlenecks and the spread of diseases like malaria and waterborne diseases. Now, bird flu has been reported in Mysore Zoo, so it will be shut down till February 2nd, which is in the type form confirmed is of avian influenza H5N8 confirmed by NHSAD Bhopal. And there are different subtypes of avian influenzas: H5N1, H7N9, H9N2, and swine flu influenza are of H1N1 and H3N2. So you need to be aware of that. A very favorite question of UPSC has been asked numerous times in previous year papers. And we also need to know about how the infection is caused. So human infections are primarily acquired through direct contact with infected animals or contaminated environments. And some of the antiviral drugs, notably the oseltamivir, which can actually reduce the duration of viral replication. So we also need to be aware about these things about this bird flu virus or the swine flu virus as well. The next one is about the government initiation about selection procedure for a single-gen fighter jet to be built in India under the Make in India program. So Defense Minister actually said that the guidelines for strategic partnership model will be undertaken as per the Defense Procurement Procedure 2016. So go through this policy. There have been numerous articles, And just let me know in the below comments, in the comment sections below, what do you think about involvement of private parties and private organizations and multinationals in developing defense sector in India specifically, and through Make in India. And the other bit of information was about the US, being Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Sweden's Saab Gripen have already submitted details offer on F-16, F-18, and the Gripen fighters under this program. And a crucial information about the key protein that makes the Zika virus deadly has been identified by the University of Maryland School of Medicine. And however, they still are not sure about which Zika protein or proteins are causing harm, or exactly how these proteins cause damage. They used to identify this by using fission yeast, which is used in a lot of different scientific experiments and research. And they first time identified 7 key proteins in the virus that may be culprits behind this damage as well. Now, the international page news. So, is it the return of the Cold War? This is obviously in context with the declining relationship between US and Russia post Cold War. It is it's at its lowest nadir. So. You can go through this map and you can understand which countries were part of the Cold War alliance, bipolar world at that time, USSR, some allies of USSR, and the other allies of Western aligned powers as well. So important question for UPSC mains generally regarding the Cold War and the Bay of Pigs invasions and the Cuban Missile Crisis. So the present relationship between US and Russia are at the lowest after the Cuban Missile Crisis. And this is a statistics which came in today's Hindu, comparing the power of both the nations as well as their present issues. So 70 countries approximately host around 800 US military bases, and 10 countries host presently Russian bases. The US's defense budget is approximately $597 billion. Compare that to $66 billion for Russian's defense budget. And the issues which affected the relationship was obviously the Ukraine and Crimea crisis, and then the setting up of the ballistic missile defense system at the borders of Russia near Georgia, and and even Ukraine and Georgia getting offer of NATO membership, which resulted in a domino effect, followed by intervention of Russia in Georgia as well in Ukraine and Crimea. And Russia also offered asylum to Edward Snowden, who is accused of spying U.S. National Security Agency. And Russia, obviously, after annexation of Crimea, there were sanctions on Russia and by Europe as well. And Russia was suspended from G8. And then, obviously, the Syria crisis now, they are at loggerheads on this issue as well. The armed intervention of Russia, fall of Aleppo, Russian ambassador shot down in Turkey is one of the biggest concerns as well. So we are still awaiting any strict action from Putin regarding this. And the US, the most recent one, the US acquisition of Russian diplomats for meddling in 2016 presidential elections, and then suspended 35 Russian diplomats. And obviously, and after this, Russia coming very closer to China post these sanctions. So we hope that these things will change. There can be a strategic realignment once Donald Trump assumes office, because he has shown signs of working in collaboration with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he's very keen on rebridging the alliances. He wants Russia back to come back closer to USA, obviously to contain China as well, which has moved towards China. The next one is about the business news. So prospects of 1st April rollout of GST are low because of the no consensus building up about the critical issue of cross empowerment, and also on the dual control of taxation power is yet to be finalized. And the RBI has given out a circular that the currency chest should ensure that 40% of the currency reaches to the rural areas using white label ATMs, post office, and district central cooperative banks on priority basis. And the Paytm payment bank gets final RBI approval to commerce operations from yesterday. And the first of its kind, India will become set to become the first country in the world which will use diamond contracts and selling and trading of this stone from the Indian Commodity Exchange Limited. So final approval is still awaited by SEBI. And India is actually the third largest consumer of diamond after US and China, and has the largest share in diamond cutting and polishing. However, the lack of global benchmark price for diamond makes the stone less attractive than gold and silver. So this is it for today, guys. I hope you liked the lesson. Till next video, thank you so much and have a good day.